Hi, hello. I'm Nick. I saw that how to get to know a Transformer fan was going around again. Another big ball. Yeah, I've been wanting to do one actually because I'd seen the previous incarnations, and I always said I'd do one, but I never actually did. So, I mean, I watched the first one, of the number 4 Reboot one today, and just thought to myself that, yeah, I would actually give it a go this time. Because I mean, I've sort of been in the community a little bit, the UK community anyway, at least, on the forums and whatnot, but I've never really sort of tended to stay there to share my story, so I thought I'd do this, then at least I've done it this time, and next year everything might have changed, and yeah, we'll just see how it goes. So yeah. Question 1: how long have you been a Transformers fan? For me, I was born in 1985, so I mean, I consider myself an 80s child at heart, and most of my earliest memories are of watching Transformers. I can't actually ever say what I had as a child because I don't remember those specifically. I remember I had them, but I don't remember which ones I had. I have one memory of my uncle buying me, I believe it was Skywar or Thundercracker, one of the two. After I'd been to the dentist, and I have clear memories of that. But overall, as a collection as a child, I don't remember, and I presume that my mum had thrown them out, during sort of like the 90s when we moved house, and from that point on, I sort of lost interest during the 90s, like late 90s into the noughties. Because you had Power Rangers and everything and whatnot. But my best friend's little brother came to me one day when I was about 14 or 15, and I'd always said that I was a Transformers fan. I loved watching the old cartoons, and that he'd said that there was a new Transformers cartoon, and I didn't believe him, because he said that they changed into animals, and I was just like, that's not Transformers. And it turned out that it was Beast Wars, and yeah, he had quite a lot of Beast Wars Transformers, and that was sort of like a nudge back to me, because I was interested in the animals. I never got them. I never bought any Beast Wars. And I think I only actually have one, the triple changes, the elephant, the tiger, lion, and the eagle. I can't remember the name. Magnavox, there we go. Yeah, that's the only actual Beast Wars Transformer that I have. I mean, that's not car boots, but anyway, I digress. So yeah, and I believe it was Robots in Disguise that really got me back into it. More for the sake of that I saw the Optimus Prime. Well, actually, it was Armada. Armada was the one that got me back, because because I lived in Stoke, and Forbidden Planet was there, and they had everything Transformer-wise, long before anywhere in the UK. So I used to get them. I used to go to that shop and used to, oh my God, there's Transformers again. And I remember buying, it was Armada Megatron actually. That was the one that re-sparked, my love and passion for Transformers again. And then, yeah, RID was sort of a factor in that afterwards, because my uncle, I bought Optimus Prime from Forbidden Planet as well, because that was being reduced and trying to get rid of the stock. And he bought me Ultra Magnus, and then I had Omega Prime, and that sort of timeline then roughly was within a few months. I'd gone from having nothing, like losing everything as a child, to all of a sudden, bang, having the Transformers again. But it was like there was the Hard Hero statues. I started to get them, and that's when it came back full force. And ever since then, I've been, I wouldn't say a hardcore fan as such, but it's my hobby. That's all I can say, is that Transformers is my greatest hobby, and has been from that point on, really. So yeah, I'll go to question 2. Can you think out of a standout moment in your life regarding Transformers? in all honesty, I think for me was was refinding the DVDs of the Generation 1 cartoon and rewatching them and knowing somewhere in the back of my mind already what was going to happen in the episodes. I had the tapes, the videotapes, but I didn't have like the whole 4 seasons or 3 seasons. I just had like various 1 or 2 episodes within season 2, and to be honest, they are my favourite episodes of the whole Generation 1 cartoon. But I think it was just getting them DVDs and rewatching those DVDs and sort of like re-loving the characters that I knew I already loved. But then I could also say that it was the point where I found out about torrents, and I was downloading Energon, Superlink from Japan, as it was being aired in Japan, because there was such a long wait for it from being in Japan to being translated and coming out here. So I think that as well as another sort of standout moment for me, because I was watching it and watching Transformers in Japanese, and I think that's why I like sort of like Energon and Cybertron, but for their Japanese counterparts, because it made sense. And I think it was just the excitement. The excitement was the standout for me. I would download 4 or 5 and then burn it onto a DVD, so I could watch the DVD in bed watching Transformers, on a Sunday morning or something like that. That for me was a standout moment, and I think I still get that excitement, with Prime, with every cartoon. As soon as I see one come up, it's downloaded within an hour, and within that space of an hour, I'm super excited to watch it and to find out what's happening on in the story. So yeah, I can't think of any other moments besides getting certain Transformers. So, question 3: what is your favourite Transformer of all time? It's kind of like asking a parent which is their favourite child. If they've had like 6 children, which is their favourite? It's quite a hard question to answer, but for me personally, my favourite Transformer of all time is Astro Train. Always has been since I was a kid. That's one thing that I've always retained, is the fact that I think Astro Train is possibly the best Transformer there. And a lot of people could probably argue otherwise, and probably will argue otherwise. But for me, it's his voice, it's the fact that he is a space carrier and a train, 2 completely different, alternate modes, but it works for me, and there's been various characters throughout, every incarnation, every cartoon that I've liked, that I've enjoyed, but yeah, Astro Train is my all-time favourite. Question 4: what is your most prized Transformers possession? See, I've never been fortunate enough to be able to afford any of the expensive, the ludicrously expensive Transformers, like the botcon sets, stuff like that. It's really rare. For me, my fiancée Steph, 2 Christmases ago, bought me Finikin and Piranacon, the reissues, and for me that they were amazing presents, and they do sit pride of place across there behind me. But I think for my own benefit of me spending my own money, I think it would have to be my Hard Hero collection. It sounds really sad that it's not actually a Transformer, just because, like I said before, I've never been fortunate enough to be able to buy. I bought Binaltech, and I have Masterpiece Ultra Magnus, which he's one of my favourites. Just because it's Japanese, and I was able to afford something from Japan to be able to import it in. But yeah, my Hard Hero statues. Well, you can just see Megatron there in the background, but I've got Megatron and Prime, the full statues, and I've got a couple of the just normal small busts. Shouldn't really snag a really busts, but such a child. So yeah, they mean a lot to me, and possibly it's just going to sound really sad, but I have the Microbots small Raiden set, where you get the 6 of them. I think it's 6, and you transform the small trains into Raiden. Something similar to that, I think. But he could be my most prized possession, because I know for a fact that not many people here will probably have that transformer. So I mean, it's a bit of a dud question for me actually, but I've tried to answer it as best as I can. What is your favourite piece of Transformers fiction? See, that's really tough, because through the entire comics and cartoon, there's been some amazing stories, and nothing, to be honest, is sort of sticking out in my mind. I mean, I've got, you can't really see a box. It's probably about a 3-foot box, just stuffed full of comics that I started getting from Dreamwave's Armada. And I mean, even from the comics perspective, from like that, every storyline was really good, and I really enjoyed it. IDW came to a point where I was just completely confused with everything that they were doing, from Stormbreaker onwards, and I was just getting so confused, but I was still enjoying it. Typical, but yeah, I think my most favourite story will probably have to be, this is going to sound, it's the one that's just happened in the comic, and I've got my comics, I get my comics kind of later than everyone else, because Chris McFeely has to save enough to be able to warrant the postage to send them to me. But with the Transformers returning to Cybertron and Optimus Prime, leaving as Orion Pax, sort of, and that whole take of him and Megatron already sort of being friends before the war started, with Prime being sort of a data clerk and Megatron, beginning before the uprising, sort of thing. You know what I mean. That sort of story arc, that sort of twist and revelation was to me was really good, and I really enjoyed that, and that's what kept me wanting my next batch of comics, even though I had to wait like 2-3 months for them. I was dying to get into them. So, yeah. Question 6, outside of Transformers, what do you do with your life? Well, I'm 27 and I went back into education at 25. I'm doing TV and film production at college here in North Wales. I say North Wales, I was born in Stoke, moved to Ireland, moved to Wales, and recently engaged to my partner Steph. I took TV and film because I wanted to make a good Transformers film. That's really, something a bit more gritty, something a bit more the fans probably want. And I just thought if I went there and learned how to do all this and how to edit and how to set a scene up and whatnot, that maybe I could probably make a gritty UK version of a Transformers film. I don't know, we'll see how it goes. But I mean, yeah. Other than that, I mean, I'm an 80s child at heart. I've got Thundercats, sort of, Centurions. I'm trying to relive everything that I've done in the 80s, like through the cartoons and whatnot, just because I personally enjoy them. But I mean, I don't really have, besides my PS3, and my video games and that, I don't really have much else to go on. I'm just enjoying what I have, and what I have to me is utopia at the minute, Okay, question 7. What is the origin of your YouTube screen name? Nick Jeter. Well, that came about in high school. I was a big Dragon Ball Z fan as a kid. I say was, I still am. I still read them, the graphic novels. And I just thought, Vegeta was my favourite character, so I just sort of put Nick and Vegeta and became Nick Jeter, but instead of it spelling Nick with N-I-C-K, it just became N-Y-K. And that was the birth of Nick Jeter. But to be honest, I've sort of, when I can, I drop the Jeter and I'm just a Nick, N-Y-K. Just because that's that, a lot of people do pronounce it Nick Getter, which sort of slightly annoys me, but you know, that's the thing with like YouTube names, isn't it? I also have one. This is going to be a shameless plug, but I'm just going to move this way just a little bit. I also have Averagely Average Gamers. I'll just pull my mic in there. Averagely Average Gamers, which is the thing me and my friend Liam from college do, which is just playing video games, dicking around, taking the mick out of each other. That is my other YouTube sub account. And you know, it's a shameless plug, but yeah, you should go check it out. It's fun. You know, it's just us messing around with video games. So yeah. Question 8: whose videos do you enjoy watching? I followed Ray with I Love Mess. I followed him for years, and you know, I was fortunate enough when I was living in Ireland in Derry to meet him, and you know, to go around to his and see his collection, and you know, it was to say his collection puts mine to shame is an understatement. You know, whereas he's got 700, I think I've got about 40. You know, but yeah, I followed him. I am subscribed to Up to Bottomless, but his voice really grates on me, and I don't know why I have subscribed to him. I could easily unsubscribe to him, but I still watch him every now and again. You know, but to be honest, the main guy that I watch is, I don't even know how to pronounce this, is Pew. I call him Pew. But yeah, I think he pronounces PR. But yeah, you know, he's always the one that I always watch first before everyone else. And I don't know why that is. I can't really explain it. You know, it's just he just seems to get them before everyone else. So I just watch him first, and then you know, I watch Ray because he's quite comical. You know, but unfortunately, I don't have a lot of time to watch YouTube. You know, the reviews on YouTube, that sort of stuff. So it's kind of, I wish I had more time, because you know, like Ray mentions all these people, you know, I can't name names, my memory's useless. You know, a lot of people in the UK community that do the reviews, and they're always being mentioned, and I always want to watch them, but I never seem to have that time. Maybe because I might be being lazy, or I'm doing something else regardless, but it's just, yeah. Unfortunately, you know, I just wish I had the time to. So, question 9: which Transformer is your holy grail? See, holy grail. I don't. For me, my Transformers collection isn't necessarily having rare Transformers. I'm going to say rare Pokemon. Then I sound like Team Rocket. Like rare Transformers. For me, I choose my collection based on the design. Like if I like the character, the personality of the character, or the design of, you know, the bot mode or the vehicle mode as such. You know, I don't buy to be a completist. I buy because I like the character, or you know, and whatnot. So for me, my holy grail seems to change quite a lot. I mean, right now at this time, I would, you know, and I've been hunting for and, you know, losing out on eBay on numerous occasions because I just don't have the money to put down on him for a 8-face and double dealer. Right now, those two are Transformers that I really want. I mean, there are other various ones that we get shafted at being in the UK. Me, at least, I feel. You know, Revenge of the Fallen, Bludgeon. You know, I would love him. You know, and they released as a Bonsaitron, and you know, I would just love one form of the mold. It doesn't matter which one I want. You know, Bludgeon, Bonsaitron, or even Overlord. If you know, I know I'm not going to be able to afford him, but you know, I don't really want sort of loads of the same mold. I just want one of each mold. So there's him, for example. There's quite a lot of, you know, the generations like the Special Ops Jazz, because I'm a jazz fan. Not the music, but you know what I mean. So yeah, you know, I hate saying I really do hate saying I say that quite a lot, because I'm trying to think of while I'm talking. And yeah, so my holy grail changes. Right now it is 8-face and double dealer. Once I've got them, who knows? It could be anything. I mean, I would love some sort of like Overlord, Generation 1 Overlord, like from, sort of an import of that, or, any of the actual headmasters. It's just finding the money and finding somewhere to buy them complete, or even not complete. Even if I don't really care for the guns for most of them, if I'm honest. Just as long as I've got the bot and he looks good and I can put him in a good pose. So yeah. Question 10. If I could transform into anything, what would it be? I've always thought that I would like to be a triple changer. I would have my bot mode, obviously, but I would be a jet, or some form of a jet, some form of a plane, and a motorbike. It's going to sound it's a really weird combination, but for me that works. If you can't get there on bike, you fly. It's, yeah. And I remember actually making designs of him in high school and drawing him out. I never actually gave it a name, so I just would like to call it Nick, like me. So, yeah, there we go. That's my 10 questions. It's been nice for me to sort of talk about stuff, my collection, my history of Transformers, just because I don't get the chance to. I don't, apart from Ray when I was in Derry, Chris McFeely, I've never actually sort of met any other Transformer fans. My friend Jimbo from back in Stoke, he's a Transformer fan, but I don't think he's on the same scale as me or anyone else. I would love to go to War Assembly. Again, it comes down to the fact that I don't have the money or the time to go, and I really wish I did. Because I think if I went there, I'd probably find a lot of things, like a lot of Transformers and whatnot that I would really like. And maybe add that more to the collection, and also sort of maybe get back into the community a little bit. So, yeah, this is me. Hi. Yeah, this is Getting to Know Transformers Volume 4, the reboot. My name's Nick, and I hope you've enjoyed watching. Thank you.